spoilers, we're at the final battle of the American Revolution. That would be the Battle of Yorktown. It happened in the fall of 1781 on the York River in Virginia. And these are some of the key people that were in the battle. You'll notice that on the British side, we've got George Cornwallis, who was in charge of all of the British troops in the colonies, and Benedict Arnold. Now, Benedict Arnold used to be an American fighter. He fought for the Patriots. But what happened was he traded sides. He became a traitor. His story is super interesting, and I hope in the future we can talk a little bit about how he became a traitor, why he became a traitor. You'll notice on the other side, we've got a lot of American leaders and we got two French leaders. What a lot of people don't recognize is that there was a very important person who contributed to the success of that battle. And that man's name was James Armistead. As you can see, he's African American and he was a slave. At the time, the British promised all slaves that if they fought and that the British won, that any slave who fought would be given their freedom. But instead of working for the British, he actually worked for the Marquis de Lafayette, not as a slave, but sort of as a volunteer. He wanted to help the Americans. So the Marquis de Lafayette sent him as a spy. Now, while he was a spy, Lord Cornwallis trusted him so much that he even made him his servant in his own tent. So that meant that James Armistead had access to listening to all of Cornwallis's plans and seeing all of his maps. And then what he would do is at certain times he would sneak away and report everything he learned as a spy to the Marquis de Lafayette. And so what happened is the Marquis de Lafayette James Armistead told the Marquis de Lafayette that Cornwallis was going to move his troops and all of his supplies to Yorktown. And at that point, the Marquis de Lafayette realized, oh, we can take this information, we could use it to our advantage. So what happened is George Washington and the Marquis de Lafayette had a plan. They were going to keep the British busy at Yorktown. Now, George Washington wasn't there yet. He was up near Clinton, near like New York and Long Island and New Jersey. So what the Marquis de Lafayette's job was to do was to keep the British occupied, keep them in Yorktown. And secretly, George Washington was going to take all of the American troops and march them south to Yorktown. And then the French army was going to sail south to Yorktown and they were going to ambush them. So that's what happened, and it worked. It worked. Once he got there, there was what they call the Siege of Yorktown. They were completely surrounded. They were surrounded by the water, by the French Navy, by land, by the American and French army, and really the British realized and Lord Cornwallis realized there was no way out. They were going to lose this battle because they were surrounded and they were outnumbered. So after many days of cannons firing, the British decided they had to surrender. And this was a really huge surrender because England was already wondering, is it really worth the effort to keep fighting? And when this surrender happened, it was such a big one that England decided the war was just too expensive to try to keep fighting. And so England said, we surrendered. The war is over. So this is a really good movie that I think you could watch. It's a little over 4 minutes long, and it gives you a lot more information than I was able to give you about the Battle of Yorktown. And you're going to do this activity. You'll notice that it's not a lot of reading. My advice would be look at what you need to get first before you read. Find some dates or a date, the location, American leaders, British leaders, and then any two facts that you want to give me. The outcome means how did the battle end? That's what the outcome means. What was at the end of the battle? Good luck with this and stay safe and keep learning. Bye-bye.